Look up at the moon. What do you see? A desolate graveyard of dust? A trophy of a 20th century race between two fleeting superpowers? Now, strip away that reality. Imagine if the path to those craters wasn't carved by the Cold War, but by the astronomers of 16th century Istanbul. What if the great telescope of Taqiyuddin, the most advanced scientific instrument of its age, was never shattered by the hammers of fear and superstition in 1580, but was instead shielded by the golden scimitar of a sultan who saw the future in the stars? Imagine a 2026 where the Ottoman Empire didn't crumble under the weight of the First World War. Imagine a world where the Caliph didn't just rule 3 continents, but 8 planets. Tonight, the lunar surface isn't a neutral wasteland. It is the Liva-i Feza, the celestial province. The flags flying over the red canyons of Mars aren't stripes or stars. They are the crescent and the sun, woven from carbon fiber, emeralds, and crimson silk. I am your Chronicler, and this is the Fate Flip history. Today, we are opening the most forbidden vault in our collection. We are stopping the clock in 1580, saving the Great Observatory of Istanbul, and witnessing the birth of the Islamic space age. Prepare yourselves. The Sultan's reach is no longer earthbound. History tells us a tale of tragic stagnation. In 1580, the Great Observatory of Istanbul was demolished by a royal decree, fueled by political intrigue and a fear of the unknown. That single act of destruction delayed the scientific revolution in the East by 400 years. But in our archive, the fate flip happens in a flash of imperial fury. Sultan Murad III, inspired by a celestial alignment, executes the conspirators and declares that the study of the stars is the sacred duty of the Sublime Porte. He grants the scientists the same status as the Janissaries, the protectors of the empire's future. The dominoes of history fall with divine precision. Without the shackles of dogma, the Ottoman Empire enters its own industrial revolution while the rest of Europe is still burning witches. By the 1700s, the Bosphorus is filled with massive steam-powered ironclads that make the British Navy look like wooden toys. By the mid-1800s, Ottoman alchemy and engineering have cracked the code of anti-gravity using the sacred geometry of the ancients. While Europe is trapped in messy agrarian wars, the Sublime Porte is already launching silver probes to the moons of Jupiter. Europe remains a collection of agrarian client states, paying their taxes to Istanbul in exchange for Turkish medicine, Turkish energy, and Turkish protection from the vacuum of space. Stop. Consider this. In our timeline, 17th century scientist Lagari Hassan Pasha allegedly flew a rocket over the Bosporus. In our 2026, Lagari isn't a myth in a dusty book. He is the architect of the galaxy. His descendants are currently presiding over the University of Mars, where they teach quantum mechanics in the poetic language of the Diwan. This is not progress. This is destiny. Fast forward to the present, June 2026. Welcome to the Ottoman Technological Zone. Forget everything you know about modern cities. This is not a world of cheap plastic, concrete boxes, and screaming neon signs.
This is the era of Sultan-Punk. Istanbul is a vertical masterpiece, a soaring forest of white marble, emerald-tinted glass, and polished brass gears that hum with the power of fusion reactors hidden beneath the ancient cisterns.
The skyline is dominated by the Minaret Launchers, massive 3-mile-high structures that use magnetic rails to sling silver galleys into the orbit of the moon. You don't use a smartphone. You use the Zümrüt-Link, a device crafted from hand-carved jade and gold that connects your mind to the Hilal-Net, a constellation of 10,000 silver satellites that guard the planet's data. The global reserve currency? It isn't a digital code or a paper dollar. It is the digital sultani, backed by the massive helium-3 mines of the moon's Sea of Tranquility. Travel is a ritual of supreme elegance. Huge steam-electric hover carriages, crafted from mahogany and inlaid with mother-of-pearl, glide silently through the streets of London, Cairo, and Paris, all administered by the Grand Vizier in Istanbul. It is a world of absolute wealth, absolute beauty, and absolute order. Here, the call to prayer is broadcast from orbital relay stations, echoing across the vacuum of space. But listen closely to the hum of the machines, because every golden age has a shadow that never leaves. Walk past the silk curtains of the floating palaces. Look beneath the gold-plated skin of this cosmic paradise. In the Ottoman space age, stability is maintained by the Imperial Oversight. Because the empire never fell, there was no enlightenment as we know it, no democracy, no rights of man. The concept of a vote is considered a failed Western curiosity from a forgotten age of chaos. The Janissary Guard never disappeared. They evolved. They are now elite cybernetic soldiers, their human eyes replaced with multi-spectrum brass lenses that can see into the very thoughts of the subjects. The Celeste Graph monitors every encrypted whisper from Earth to the colonies on Titan. You are free to thrive, free to explore the stars, and free to grow rich, but you are never free to question the shadow of God on the throne. The social hierarchy is as rigid as the walls of Topkapi. Innovation is encouraged, but only if it serves the throne. It is a world of eternal peace, yes, but it is a peace enforced by a golden scimitar that watches you from a stationary orbit. A paradise of order or a prison of starlight. The coin is spinning in the air, reflecting the shimmering light of 1,000 lunar minarets. We have seen a 2026 of profound majesty, a world without the colonial scars of the 20th century, without the nuclear shadow of the Cold War, and without the chaos of our modern borders. But we have also seen a world where the future is ruled by the iron hand of a 500-year-old dynasty, a world that never learned to rebel because it never needed to. As your chronicler, I must ask you the question that haunts the heart of this archive. Would you trade our loud, messy, and often tragic freedom for the calm, cosmic majesty of this Ottoman 2026? Would you accept the Sultan's peace if it meant living in a cage made of marble and starlight? Go to the comments right now. Is the Ottoman space age a dream of glory or a nightmare of absolute rule?
This is where history is finalized. If you felt the weight of the silk today, hit the like button. Subscribe to the Fate Flip History to ensure you are here when the next vault door creaks open. Our library is infinite, our curiosity is aflame, and the next coin is already in the air. I am your chronicler. Until the next flip.